everyone.
Happy
Sorry
New
a bit late.
Big hugs, group huddle. Oh, season 3.
Season 3, here we go. We don't know what that means because we've really actually only accidentally done season 1 and 2.
Yeah.
So let's find out what it means.
There's no logic to it. I don't even know how many episodes we had in the last season.
I don't know, but I want us to do 100 before we faint.
Me too. Producer Paul decides on the season cuts, I guess. I don't know.
God bless Paul. Happy New Year to Paul.
Happy New Year to Paul. Happy New Year to all of you.
Although I haven't heard from him in a few minutes, so he may be finished. He might be done with us. He just pure ghosted us.
We might be drifting at sea with no help coming, and we don't realize it yet.
We'll survive. We've been through worse.
We have.
So, how was...
It's been a wild end of December, hasn't it?
December was actually like a fuck show. It really was. Like, it was mental. Like, you and I were just running on steam.
Yeah.
As people, and then in every other way.
I know.
And then we both came to England, and it didn't get easier.
No. Then everything ramped up, and then the real drama began. Every
light on the dashboard switched on, and it was blinking. Pull over, bitch.
Oh, and now I don't even know what hit me. I just got back to LA day before yesterday. I don't even know what time it is. I'm on such jet lag, and I haven't.
Oh my God, you're just so jet lagged from your international travel abroad.
I am. It was so tough getting through customs. But I'm so happy to see your face. I haven't seen you.
I haven't seen you in ages.
Before Christmas, and there's so many things that happened along the way that I thought, I got to tell Annabelle. And now you and I just don't even have the energy to properly catch up. So we just hit the record button and said, fuck it.
Yeah. I just was chatting with Lucy a bit before, and I was like, I really want to tell you about everything, but I can't be fucking bothered. I'm literally tired. I was tired from experiencing it, and I don't want to talk about it. So.
Exactly. It'll come out in the coming weeks. Don't you worry, everybody.
Yeah, bitch. If you're listening, it's going to come out in the coming fucking weeks.
Yeah, season 3.
I'm not talking to anyone, you guys. Nothing like that happened to me. I just wanted the drama.
We always have to make our lives more exciting than they really are. I mean, come on. Who wants to listen to that? Who wants to listen?
Truth?
Yeah, who wants to listen to two broads going, oh yes, I had a wonderful Christmas. It was just super peaceful, and
it was just so
really
perfect.
It was a blessing, I'm just blessed.
I'm so grateful for all the gifts of 2021, and now that 2022 is here, I'm just ready for a new me.
I'm ready to move into a new energy and step it up and live my best life in every way.
It's the year of the slut, and I'm ready. Actually, what year is it in the Chinese calendar?
I don't know.
Well, let's find out. What year is it? What year is it in the Chinese calendar? It says that it's the rooster year.
I feel like it always says that.
Last year it was the rat. It was the ratty. What year is it in China? 4719. Oh my God, why did I look this up? I'm so confused. 2022 is the year of the tiger, which lasts from the 1st of February 2022 until 21 January 2023. Okay, so it's the year of the ox, you guys.
You just said the tiger.
No. I said the rooster.
You've said 3 animals. Which one is it?
Oh, can someone just write in and tell us which one it is?
Listen, listeners in China.
What kind of fucking year? What does this mean? What year is it? The year 4715.
Why do you keep saying 4715?
No, but in China it's different. On the Chinese calendar. Like, anyway, this doesn't matter. It really doesn't. It's just me just being an idiot. I just was curious. Like, guys, I think it's the year of the
It's the year of the tiger.
The year of the tiger.
Yes.
Rawr.
Is that your best tiger roar right now? Rawr.
That's all I've got is a rawr. Have you got anything that you want to share with me? Any thrilling updates? Since you're not going to talk about your...
Since I'm not going to talk about the truth, let's see. What can I fabricate real quick? No. England was lovely. Of course, I always love being there. It was magical. I spent a lot of time at castle ruins, which I always force everybody to go find ruins with me. So that was thrilling.
Like, what do you do when you're at the ruins? Are you just like, wow, I'm feeling the vibe?
I cry. There's a lot of crying that goes on. There's a lot of walking.
Why do you cry about it? Especially if you're going, I've seen you on there going to one every day. What, you're crying about it every day?
Every day. Yeah. Because it's very overwhelming for me.
Why?
Annabelle, it's just a past life thing, okay?
I wouldn't understand. It's a past life thing.
I just don't get my connection to castles. I don't know why. I feel I have a connection to that type of place, and it's overwhelming. I don't know. I mean, I'm obsessed with anything historical. I have to touch the walls. I'm like hugging pillars, and
you're one of those people. You'd fucking marry a castle if you could. Some bitch married the color pink recently.
There you go. Yeah.
She married the color pink. You were fucking
I can relate
easily.
Yeah. I'm licking the stones. It's intense.
You're not.
And Will just says, "Oh, I'll be by the car when you're ready." And I just
you don't actually lick. You don't actually lick anything.
Listen.
Oh my God, you're not answering the question. That means that you do.
He took me in Wales to Pembroke Castle, and there was
Don't try and justify it. I can see you doing the classic LA fucking set the story up. Here's why what I'm about to tell you is great, and you're going to love it.
No,
I'm
shooting off to another topic. I went into this room in this tower, and there was a jail cell where they would drop people down through the floor. That was the only way to get in and out. It was this hole in the floor, and they would drop people down about 10 feet. And there was a plaque there that said that a man was kept there for 7 years with no sunlight. And you just think it is unimaginable, the level of barbaricness in this world. And those are your people, Annabelle. Those are your people, the English, okay?
Well, back then we wouldn't have been English. We would have been like all sorts of types of things.
We were in some churches and saw old English writing, and it is unreadable, a lot of it. It's crazy to think that we wouldn't understand if we heard them speaking 800 years ago.
Well, you lot barely fucking understand English as it is. So.
I know, that's true.
Speaking of past lives, Lucy Walsh told me once when I was cooking her Mexican dinner that you didn't like Mexican food anymore because you felt that when you and I were in a past life in Mexico, I killed you.
Yeah.
By strangulation.
Yeah, I stand by that.
I have never been to Mexico with you.
In this life.
Or any fucking life. So
I do feel
dare
like
you accuse me
of foul play.
Any type of this kind of behavior.
I do feel like you did take my life in another life.
And I'll fucking take it in this one as well, bitch. So you better watch yourself.
Listen, enough about me and my castle obsession. What have you done in December that's made you really happy?
Did you lick the wall in the jail cell?
No.
Just nibbling on sort of like moss
just
from the wall.
Sucking on some stones.
You're a real freaky bitch.
I love castles. I love them.
I bet there is a reason why.
There is a reason. There is a reason. I mean, I can't say it seriously right now because everyone, you're making fun of me, but there is a
because I'm making
Oh my God. You guys, this season might just be one episode.
You know what I believe in past life stuff.
I know.
I live for that shit.
I know. I've been obsessed with England since I was little, since before I ever went there. And every time I'm there, I feel like I'm home. And I much prefer life over there to America. And then even the colors when I'm looking out, and it's the green with the gray sky and the stone of a castle, whatever. Just that to my eyes is like something clicks in for me, and it's like I recognize it, and I'm home, and it's overwhelming.
Wow,
it brings up a lot of emotions, and I have had experiences where I've gone to a place and I remember it. And it happened to me in America once, where I went to a place and I remembered it. And I was telling the tour guide how the property looked and how the rest of the house looked. And I was right. And I had been there. I just knew the place. And that happens to me in England too. Some places won't affect me as much, but one castle in particular that I went to in Wales, I knew it. And I walked down there and stood there for like an hour and a half, just letting my eyes feast upon that again, if you want to say. And I don't know if anybody else has felt that, but I have a post on my Instagram, a Welsh saying, and it says, I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Hiraeth, Hiraeth. And it says, a spiritual longing for a home which maybe never was, nostalgia for ancient places to which we cannot return. It is the echo of the lost places of our souls past and our grief for them. It is in the wind and the rocks and the waves. It is nowhere and it is everywhere. I can't quite put it into words, but we've all had that experience, whether it's with a person or a place. Have you, do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, that feeling, that word, that Welsh word, the description of what it means, I definitely feel that. But yeah, I've definitely been places and been like, wait a minute. Why does it feel like this? This cottage, really. Yeah, when we got here, we were both like, why does this feel like we've been here?
Is that why you keep returning to it?
Yeah.
Why you won't leave?
Do you have a sense of how many lives you may have had in the past?
I don't. I think that I have died in battle a lot. I'm absolutely obsessed with battle movies, being a man, fighting. I definitely know that I have lost my life on the battlefield and at sea. I know I have been at sea a lot. I think I've lived a lot of lifetimes as a man. And I'm reading a really interesting book about all that at the moment called The Journey of Souls. I think I mentioned it last season on the podcast.
Oh, yeah, that book. Okay, go off.
But it talks about how souls prefer to live lives as males or females, and they switch back and forth. But sometimes you choose one over the other more often. And I'm drawn to male lives that are rough. I know I've had a lot of those, but I can't really say if I'm a younger soul or an older soul. Everybody wants to say they're an older soul, right? But I really don't know. And when you're saying I'm an older soul or a younger soul, we have to remember that it's not about being better than anyone else if you're an older soul versus a younger soul. It's completely different. And we can't even fathom what it actually means. But how do you feel about it for yourself?
Yeah, I think I've lived, I don't know how many, but I think I've lived many lives, all as women. And I think I've had pretty savage lives. Like, I think it's been violence, death. I think I've been killed a lot. And I think that this life isn't about that and was never meant to be about that. I feel like this life is the end of some kind of journey that my soul is doing,
Yeah.
because of the experiences I've had and also the massive changes and shifts that I have felt, you know, as I said last season about how I felt that my soul's purpose and journey massively shifted.
And I said
Yeah,
that can happen during a lifetime.
Yeah, I massively feel that. I feel like I was on one path and it's just, and I think that that's changed the outcome of a lot of different things. Like, I think that I've had like a rip-roaring time, you know. I don't think that it's been like sad. Like, I feel like I've sort of gone down singing and swinging every single time. And I think that this life isn't meant to be that. I think this is the first one that's not that. And maybe the last one, I don't know. I'm quite tired. So if it could be potentially the last one, if anyone up there is listening, I'm ready for rest now.
I feel like that too sometimes. I'm just like, I don't want to go through this again. I've had enough. I get it.
I want to get off.
Stop the ride.
That's what I think about passing waves.
Yeah, well, you and I both know a lot about it, and it takes courage, I find, for me to like speak about it seriously, because you feel that people joke about it.
Oh yeah, people are going to think you're a wanker and you're mental and all of that stuff. And guess what? I don't care. Don't be jealous just because you can't remember your past life.
That's right. I mean, shit. Children remember more than we do. I went up to my mom's friend and I said, "You were my mother when we were Indians." I was 3. She said, "Okay, let go of my leg, little girl."
When I was a little girl, I used to know music that I would have never heard before, specifically from like the 20s and the 30s.
Yeah.
And that used to freak everyone out massively. And then sometimes when I was sleeping, I would like speak in like a tongues type language, which would really frighten everyone. Spooky. It's a spooky baby. Send it back.
Yeah. Send her back. Well, we're always supposed to believe children and support them so that they don't feel like freaks, because the older they get, they just stop talking about it because adults will tell them they were dreaming or they were making it up. And then you learn as a defense just not to talk about that stuff. And I think that has stuck with me into adulthood, even though I've known about it and felt it my whole life. And I'm sure most of us have. But I
wonder how much has been lost in that process.
A lot
of like our history of so many things. And just even in a smaller way, how much children do just stop kind of sharing and talking about thoughts or daydreams or magical thinking or joy or sadness, and to kind of go along with what is being prescribed to them as like, this is what we do and this is what we don't do. And
you're so right. And unfortunately, the next step after stopping talking about it is that we stop remembering and we stop feeling.
Yeah, definitely. I feel a massive return to that. There's like an energy that I felt as a child that has come back.
Me too. It didn't come back until my 30s. It was not available to me in my 20s, but in my 30s, it started to resurface again, and I've returned to it.
Well, your 20s are all about like, we're grown-ups now. This is the time where we're going to be a grown-up. It's actually a total straddling of the two things. And I think if we approach the 20s like that a bit more, they might be a bit healthier for a lot of people, because, you know, how many people go, God, my 20s, like, back, you know.
Yeah, and I think like, that's why.
Yeah, I think it's pretty interesting stuff. But yeah, I never want to shut people down when they talk about that stuff, because also just because I don't necessarily relate to stuff sometimes, whether it's, you know, for me, I love all that past life stuff, but like if somebody's talking about something I can't relate to or haven't experienced, they never sort of assume like, oh, because I haven't experienced it, therefore it doesn't exist because, you know, I've not experienced it. I always find that such a weird kind of place that people can come from sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, that's a whole other fucking thing.
Yeah.
But okay, so you've been reading this book. You're loving it.
Loving it. Yeah. It's hard to sum it up here and talk about it. I would just urge people to read it. Yeah, the book is called Journey of Souls by Michael Newton. It's made me way less scared of death.
Really Why has it made you less scared of death?
Because it's helped me to understand the cycle that we're in, the river that we're a part of life.
Like a river of souls.
Yeah. What poem are you going to read me?
Oh my God. I found this book on my mum's bookshelf and I'm obsessed with it. It's called The Virago Book of Love Poetry. I thought, oh, it's just going to be us. We were sitting by the fire one day and you know, when you're sitting there, you don't want to necessarily put the TV on or go on your phone or anything, but you don't want to like read. It's nice to sort of have a flick through like an article, or I'm not going to read it exactly as it's written because it's too long. Okay, but it's not known who the author is, and it's called Pretty I Am, But I Am Wretched. Pretty I am, but I am wretched, all on account of my husband, for I neither love him nor want him. And I will tell you why I am so desirous. Pretty I am, but I am wretched, because I am young, a girl just grown, and I ought to have a husband who would make me happy and with whom I could play and laugh all the time. Pretty I am, but I am wretched, all on account of my husband, for I neither love him nor want him. May God never save me if I love him. I do not even want to love him. Truly, when I see him, I feel so ashamed of him that I pray to death to come and kill him soon. Pretty I am, but I am wretched. And it goes on and on like that. And it is so shocking. It's like, this bit actually sent me over the fucking edge. May God never save me if I love him. I do not even want to love him. Truly, when I see him, I feel so ashamed of him that I pray death to come and kill him soon. This bitch is a savage.
Oh my God.
So the book's really interesting. It goes through like different types of love. So it's like forbidden love, bad love, good love, marital love, and it goes in all of those chapters.
Wow.
But it is so good, and I haven't read a shit one yet. And then one of the things that I really like about it is that it's got little sort of two-liners. I don't know, I'm really bad at this stuff. What is it, a poem if it's just like 2 lines? Is that still just called a poem?
That's a good question. I would say so.
Or...
I don't know.
So like it has stuff like this by a lady called Marie de France. Love is a wound within the body. Love is a wound within the body that has no outward sign. That's the poem.
Wow.
So there's stuff like that I just love. And so much of it has been translated. So the translations make it like brutal.
Even better.
Oh my God, make it so good. And then some of them are just like so moving and so beautiful and so kind of, you know, wow, like love like that. Wow.
Yeah.
And it's got a lovely picture by Diego Rivera on the front. The Virago Book of Love Poetry. Anyway, so that's what I've been looking at.
It's so great to keep that around the house just to pick up.
So great. It's changed my mind about books like that, because usually I'm just like, yeah, it's going to be shit, whatever. Mm-hmm. It just feels like unserious, a book like that. Do you know what I mean?
No.
It's like the kind of thing that you just like look at while you're on the loo or something.
Right.
Instead of actually, it's full of like things that I will
treasures
never forget. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to definitely steal this book from my mum.
I see that. Yeah, I think you already did.
Yes, it is at my house.
Yes, it is in the cottage now. Yeah, I know what you mean. I've always had that issue with short stories. And
okay.
it
Reading
feels like
them or
reading
writing them?
Reading
Okay.
them. I'm like, short story. Like, why not just write the story? I don't know. But now I've come to appreciate them because I have some compilations. And once you dive into that, you discover incredible shit.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. It's definitely taught me to not be quite so snobby about things like that. Because you never know. There might be a little gem in there.
Exactly. And it's the same as you said about not poo-pooing other people's experiences just because you can't relate. Let's be open. Let's discover new things and embrace new concepts.
Just be open with ourselves and with others.
Yes, be accepting of everyone. Well,
should we do some news?
Yeah, I feel like this.
Is that what you were going to say?
Well, I was going to say this is funny because you and I haven't talked in a couple weeks and gone through so much in the last couple weeks, and we're kind of out of the loop of doing the pod. I feel like we're just having fun and like on the ocean right now.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But who cares?
That's why you guys like us, right?
Yeah.
Because we just kind of...
Because it's like having ADD over here. And then we're over there. And then we're back over here. Ooh, what's that? Yeah.
We have a beginning, we have a middle, and we have an end. Everything else, no promises.
Nope. We have no idea where we're headed. We do know what time it is.
It's not world news.
It's not important news. It's Lucy and Annabel news. What do you got for us, Annabelle Crustacean Jones? It always has to begin with a C, and I said we're on the ocean right now, so it worked.
I am a Cancerian after all.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, here's my news.
Okay.
In case you have or haven't been following the story of Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell and all of their
shenanigans,
their shenanigans, and then also all the people that are involved in their shenanigans. Bill Clinton, plus many, many others.
Right.
But unfortunately, Prince Andrew has really shamed the country. Wait, I'm going to stop right now. I want you guys to hear something. Okay. I'm taking my microphone over here. Sorry. Segue. Microphone's coming with me.
What are we doing?
They're doing bell practice. They do it every Thursday night.
How thrilling.
Right. Just wanted you guys to hear that. Oh God, I'm tangled in my wires. Okay. Gets me jacked every fucking time they do it.
You're so cute. You love it. You just lost your mind.
I actually love it.
You carried the microphone across the room.
I do it because I needed to open the window so you could hear it better. Okay, and actually next week I'm going to go and join in bell practice because
you are.
Yeah, I'm here.
I think you're going to settle down in this village. I don't know if you're ever coming back.
I want to. I want to stay here forever. Okay, listen, Prince Andrew.
Okay. Yes.
He's
serious.
Jeffrey Epstein's little book of pedos, and unfortunately, for our country, he has let us all down, and he has turned out to be a kiddie diddler, potentially. That's allegedly. Right. Did you watch the interview that he did with ITV where he was like, actually, I couldn't have been sweating because when I was in the Falklands, I sustained severe PTSD, and I actually can't sweat, so that wouldn't have been possible. I don't sweat.
I heard about it.
Yeah. He's just lost the plot, this man. Anyway, this week, a judge in New York has ruled that Prince Andrew cannot get out of this lawsuit. Some of the accusers are suing him for sexual abuse, and it was going to be a big thing about whether he could get out of it or not. well, he hasn't been able to. And as a result of that, he has been cut the fuck off. He has lost all of his royal patronages. He's no longer allowed to use his Royal Highness.
What?
He is not going to be able to use any palace resources, money or otherwise. He's been stripped of all of his naval and army, everything.
He's been cancelled.
He's been really cancelled.
Royally cancelled.
Oh, yes, he has. And rightly so, because there's literally a picture of him with the woman. So,
wow.
It's really interesting.
And that would come from the Queen, right?
Yeah, it's with the Queen's approval and agreement, the Duke of York's military affiliations and royal patronages have been returned to the Queen.
Oh.
The Duke of York will continue not to undertake any public duties and is defending the case as a private citizen.
Ooh, I mean, what do you have after that? What's he going to do? He's probably going to go to jail.
I'm so scared about this. This is just such a fuck show. And I don't know. It's just such a nightmare. And I feel so sorry for all these girls who've just been so fucked over by these people, literally and figuratively.
I know.
And their whole lives have been about this thing. Prince Andrew, obviously, like, what do you think about this? I think it's really interesting that she's turned around the Queen and said, like, yeah, okay, bye. Because she could have done that like 2 years ago when this came up, and she didn't. But I guess that's because no like official stuff was brought forward, whereas now he's like really in it.
Right.
He kind of doesn't have a choice.
No, she has to cover her ass. And I think they weren't going to, as with most humans on the fucking planet, they don't act until they're forced, until they're in hot water, and they have to cover their own ass. And I'm sure she has a team of publicists telling her that this is what's necessary.
And supposedly, I mean, it's kind of talked about that he's her favorite as well. So I don't know, man. It must be really, really
it's difficult for her.
Bleak when you're the loved one of somebody who's involved in something like this. I cannot imagine how confusing. And
I know,
oh my God, it would be so crazy. But I thought that was interesting. I guess I expected him to get away with it. I expected the court to go, okay, fine. So I didn't really think about this happening, but it's happening.
No, because people have been getting away with shit for so long, haven't they?
Boris Johnson,
what the hell is going? I mean, O.J. Simpson got away with it. Bill Clinton, he didn't get away with it, but he was still beloved after that.
After Monica.
Yeah. So many people get away with their shit. It's a slow change, but it might not be because people have actual empathy, but people are having to cover their asses now. Right. And that is causing change as well. The Queen might have felt in her heart, that's okay. We all make mistakes. I love you and I'm not going to abandon you. But she's responsible now because there's such a crackdown on abuse. If you stand by, it's not enough to stand by and keep your mouth shut. If you do, you are an accomplice and you are an enabler to that abuse. That's what we're seeing more and more.
I mean, people still do. It's actually something I was thinking about a lot this week. There are multiple people I know in the music industry who know, whether it's through one like face-to-face with the person who is a victim, whether they are the victim, whether they are very close to that person and know the information, but continue to associate, affiliate, support people who are known perverts, predators, abusers. It's really something that with more and more distance I get from the music industry and more distance I get from LA and all of that stuff, that I am really in this weird space with some people where it's like, say for instance, a victim of it wants their career and wants their life so much that they are willing to allow potentially what happened to them happen to other people by not coming forward. But also, I totally respect that people wouldn't want to come forward about abuse. I totally respect that. I have never come forward about anything that's ever happened to me. But for me, there is a clear line where it's like, I'm not gonna necessarily like cancel you online, but I am absolutely categorically not fucking with you or anything to do with you ever again. If it's you, it's a no from me. If it benefits you, it's a no from me. And I will let that be known. But it's tricky because it's like, I know that so many of these people don't want this thing to define them and don't want it to be like the story of their life and don't want it to be all of that stuff. But then I'm just like, but why do you still have to gas this person up and associate with them and be a part of the thing and be like, oh, yes, it's so great. Love working with you, my champion, my this, my that. When you've literally been like either like mentally, physically, emotionally, financially abused by this person. I'm really like struggling at the moment. I don't know why this is coming up for me at the minute, but I've been thinking about it a lot over the last couple of weeks. I don't really know if what I'm saying is particularly making any sense to you.
I completely know what you mean. And I'm in the exact same spot with the high control group that I got away from. There are still people involved in that group that I considered friends of mine who have stood by the abuser and continue to, and have now become accomplices should that person be brought to justice, because they have made comments like, well, it's only abuse if you are weak. Literally, somebody said that. And I know exactly what you mean. I know who you are now. It's fine if you don't want to come forward and stand up for the injustice that you've witnessed for years, but I know who you are. And I will never fuck with you. And you are never allowed in my circle ever again. I remember being young and people would talk about someone and I'd say, oh, well, I've seen them be mean to other people, but they've always been nice to me. That's what we're dealing with on the grown-up level now, not as children anymore, but now as grown-ups. That is incorrect.
It's rare that I will ever sit and say, and I know it is the same for you as well, to be like, that is absolutely a wrong way to conduct yourself. But I really feel that about that particular action and that particular mindset, because there are those expressions like, you can tell a lot about a man by the way he treats people who can do nothing for him.
Yes.
You can tell a lot about a man by the way he treats his friends.
Yeah.
Okay. You can tell a lot, everything you need to know about somebody by the way that they treat the people around them. And just because it hasn't happened to you doesn't mean jack shit. Like, is that all there is to you? Oh, it hasn't happened to me, so I guess it's fine.
I like them.
No. Not if you know. And that's the thing. Not if it's just like, oh, it's speculation or he said, she said. Wait, when it's like, no, but you saw it.
You've seen it. You have seen it.
It happened to you.
That's right. And so when you stand up for injustice, you are not standing up for yourself alone. You are standing up for everybody. You know what? I just watched The Last Duel. Have you seen that film?
No.
Just came out. Matt Damon and Ben Affleck did it. Jodie Comer.
Oh, shit. Yeah. I want to see that.
You must. Holy shit. Because it's about a woman who was raped. True story from the 1300s. This woman was raped. Now, at the time, women had zero rights. They were men's property. The rape was not a crime against the woman. It was a crime against the man who owned her. So, yeah.
Oh, right.
So the rape was a crime against her husband. And at the time of her trial, she was 6 months pregnant. And they didn't know if it was from the rape or from her husband.
Mm-hmm.
Their argument was it couldn't have been from the rape because they asked her if she got off when she'd have sex with her husband. She said yes. They asked her if she got off when she was raped. She said, of course I didn't. They said, well, it's a scientific fact that you can only conceive if you had an orgasm. So it couldn't have been from the rape.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That was considered science at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And her punishment, if she was found to be lying, was that she would be burned at the stake. And the way that they were going to duke it out was for her husband and the man who raped her to fight to the death. And God would decide who was telling the truth. So if her husband lived, she would be telling the truth. If the rapist lived, she would be burned at the stake. So the whole thing, it was so important, this film, and so incredible to see a woman in that situation at that time, because she spoke up. She spoke up, and every woman around her hated her. Her own mother-in-law was like, shame on you. You have brought nothing but shame upon this family. Many women are raped, but we don't fucking open our mouth about it because you just know better. And I understand that anger at a victim who comes forward to speak up. I understand that because it's
big time.
Because people don't want to confront what's happened to them. And so they're afraid that you might force that to happen. And there's a quote about coming forward about abuse that is really credible. And it's right here. It says, when we recover loudly, we keep others from dying quietly.
That is how I feel as well. And I'm not saying that I'm going to, bleed myself out on the stone to save everyone else at my own expense. But I do think there are things that you can do in ways in which you can, stop it happening to other people.
Yeah, no, it's not about sacrificing yourself for others, but her point in the movie, and she says this line, what happened to me was wrong, and I'm telling the truth. If something has happened to you and you know it's wrong and you feel that it's important for you to take a stand as part of your healing process, then you have every right to do that. And that scares people. That scares people a lot.
So are we saying that we think, that's what I'm trying to figure out, what I think about it and feel about it. I can't help but feel annoyed and resentful towards the people who I know have been compromised by same people as me, but continue to associate with them and gas them up and take their money or take their business or whatever it is. I just think it's wrong. But then am I wrong for feeling that way is my question. I don't feel, for me, that's where my moral compass kind of sits,
If we came together more in the world and looked out for each other by shutting down injustice when we see it happening, even if it doesn't happen to us, I think if we did that more, it would be a completely different experience of living.
Yeah.
But we don't.
Yeah.
We don't. We just justify it by saying, well, it didn't happen to me, so it's not my fight. Go on your merry way if that's how you feel. But
please unsubscribe from my life.
But I see you. I see who you are.
Yeah.
I don't say that from a hoity-toity pedestal. I've been that person.
Yeah.
I've been that person who says, oh, well, they, like I said, they haven't done it to me. I've seen them be mean to other people, but they haven't done it to me. So I consider them a nice person. That no longer sits with me. That's not right. That's not it. Sorry.
Yeah. And this isn't like a believe all women thing, or you guys know, Lucy and I.
It's not about women. It's not about women.
No, it's not. But I think it's important to say that, because I think it can get it immediately when two women talk about stuff like this, I think it can get dumped into that.
It's not about women.
Category. It's not about the Me Too movement. Lucy and I, as you guys know, we have our criticisms of that as well. It's more just about, I don't know, all of it on the whole. It's not a woman thing. It's not an adult thing. It's just
I have seen many men in abusive situations.
I've seen as many men in
Me too.
situations. Yeah.
And that's actually who I'm referring to in the high control group stuff. many men come to mind where I witnessed abuses done to them. And I said, well, didn't happen to me. So I'm just going to keep my mouth shut and pretend like I didn't see it because that's easier. No, I don't want to live that way. I don't want to live that way.
I don't want to live around people like that.
I don't either.
Yeah.
Gross.
Interesting. Anyway, so that news article got that. I was already thinking about all of that stuff anyway, and that kind of just like made me start thinking about it.
Yeah.
So that's my cheery bit of news.
I am very interested to see what happens to Ghislaine Maxwell or whatever her name is. I'm very interested to see how it plays out.
Well, she's been found guilty.
Yeah, but what's her sentence? Like they already appealed it. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen.
A death sentence because she knows everyone's secrets. She's probably.
I heard she was going to get like 3 years or some shit. She should get life. What is this?
Okay, this is an interesting conversation. Do you consider her also to be a victim?
Well, this is interesting because at least in a narcissistic dynamic where, say, for instance, there's a narcissistic parent, they are the one abusing the family. But the other parent is also an enabler and a co-narcissist because they're allowing it and they're sacrificing their children to the abuser while at the same time they are being abused.
I think that she is very much also a victim. I don't think that means that she shouldn't go to jail for what she's done and be held like completely accountable. But I definitely do consider her also a victim. Like if Jeffrey Epstein hadn't been killed, I personally think he was killed.
I do too.
I think that she would now in this situation potentially be going against him.
Right. But they got to blame somebody. So she's the next in line that takes the brunt of it.
Oh, exactly.
Right.
I mean, surely she is just going to sing. Like, surely she's just going to be like, I'm fucking taking everyone down. Yeah. So she's going to get a bad case of COVID.
What does she have to lose?
She'll probably get like COVID and die in prison or something. COVID inverted commas.
Well, my news is a little different. So this comes to us from California, and it says, the headline says, California twins were born 15 minutes apart, but they end up having separate birthdays in different years after being born on New Year's Eve and New Year's Day.
Cute.
Yeah, it says twins with different birthdays like this are super rare. 1 in 2 million. One was born on New Year's Eve at 11:45, and one was born right after the new year. So one was born in 2020 on December 31st, and one is January 1st, 2022.
Damn, that poor bitch. She was like, oh, it's going to be over soon. 15 minutes later.
Can you imagine?
It's still going on.
That is very sweet. And
are they boys or girls or both?
They are fraternal twins. One is a boy and one is a girl.
Okay.
Yeah. So we are kind of flying by the seat of our pants today through different time zones and just getting back in the saddle. So we have some fun stuff we were going to talk about today that we will save for next time. But Annabelle, are you feeling the January blues? Because I know I am.
You know, I've never subscribed to the January blues. I am just I
never knew it was a thing, but it makes a lot of sense to me. And let's talk about
I get it. People are skint. They've spent all their money at Christmas. You know, they're probably feeling a bit fat because of Christmas.
Yep. All of the above.
They've probably, you know, it's just another year and they're just like, fuck, here I am again. I've still got the same fucking job. I'm living in the same shitty flat. You know, my husband's still a fucking garbage boy, you know, like it's, I don't know, I feel like people it's that new year and it's that energy of like, excuse me while I say the worst coupling of words ever, toxic positivity of like, new year, new me, everything's gonna be great, this is my year, you know, all of that stuff, which is just true. Like, for some of us, jack shit has changed other than the date. You know, like it's just new year, same fucking everything. And around you, everyone's just like, Now's your big chance to restart your life and boost your metabolism. Take vitamin C, go on a run, try this diet, come to our sale, everything's 60% off. It's just like all these messages come to you and you're just overwhelmed by like January bollocks. That's my new term for it.
It's so true. And I really enjoyed through the last season how we've been debunking a lot of things. And let's debunk this here and now. Everything you just said is exactly correct. There is such bullshit around New Year's, around resolutions, around this is my year. It's all going to happen this year. No, it's not.
No, bitch.
You know,
it's not.
Will's dad had the best reaction. We were at the dinner table and we were going around saying fucking stupid ass New Year's resolutions. And we got to him and I said, what about you? What's your New Year's resolution? And he was like, nothing. And I thought, I fucking love that you just said that because everyone else, including me, was like, oh, I'm going to exercise more and I'm going to send out 100 headshots and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And he's just like, no, I'm not.
I'm just going to stay the same.
Yeah, exactly. And that is honest and correct, but we are made to feel by the collective society.
Marketing. It's just marketing.
It's marketing.
So much of it.
Exactly.
Supposedly, January the 17th is meant to be like the worst day. Blue Monday. It's meant to be the worst day of the year. And it's
I read it was January 24th.
Oh, is it?
Whatever. It's all bullshit.
I got the date wrong. Yeah.
Bullshit.
Don't. Why do people also, this is what I don't understand about January. Everyone's like, oh, I'm doing dry January. And it's like
that. I've gone through 2 bottles of wine since I got home yesterday.
Why are you doing that to yourself? It is cold. You are poor from Christmas. You feel like shit. Yeah. Everyone's telling you should feel like shit. Drink the wine if that's what you want to do.
Exactly. I'm going to go have a glass right after this and it's lunchtime right now, but I'm going back to bed because I can, okay? Because I'm jet lagged. So yes, there's a lot of, if you Google it, there's many reasons why January is tricky for our mental health. One of the reasons they say is cold weather and shorter days.
And that people can get very affected by weather.
Yeah, that can impact the hormones and your body in general. It can affect your mood, as we know.
My mom said something to me the other day. She goes, I said to her, so I asked her a question about something. We were out on a walk. She was like, yeah, but it was about food. And she was like, but when it's like bad weather, I really I like to eat, more kind of this type of food. And I thought to myself, why do we think about good and bad weather?
I know, Annabelle.
What does that mean?
Bugs the shit out of me when people say that a rainy day is bad weather.
Bad weather.
I hate that.
No, I know. It's so funny because since I've been here, I'm obviously trying to just like juice my time. So even if it's pissing down with rain, I'm going to put the barber on that goes down to my ankles and I'm going out for my walk because I want to be outside in the country and I want to walk through the woods and I want to see shit and like do what I came here to do. I'm not going to let rain stop me. I don't care unless it's like 80-mile-per-hour winds.
Yeah.
And I might get blown over. I'm not going to not go out.
No.
And then I thought during this time here, I've kind of stopped myself being allowed to think about good or bad weather. And I realized that when she said it to me. And I think that, again, like it's a part of a mindset.
Yes.
Why is a grey or cloudy or rainy day bad weather? It's just another type of weather, and you can either choose to be like negatively affected by it or not. It's really up to you.
Why are you and I always on the same wavelength? Honestly, I was in the car on the way to the airport in England and the weather was on and they were like, oh, it's a terrible day outside. It's rainy and foggy. And I thought, how dare you say that about to me, that is exciting and romantic and beautiful. And I got caught in the biggest thunderstorm in Wales. And Will was like, take my jacket. You're getting soaked. I said, I don't care. I love it. I never get the chance to get out in the rain. It was so beautiful. And I just thought, oh, shame on you weather people.
Well, it's very interesting, isn't it? It's another message that, you know, I don't think there's some like big conspiracy.
No, there's not. It's just that's the way the human mind categorizes things into good and bad categories. That's just how our brain works.
You don't have to be freaks like us and be like, oh yeah, it's raining. Great. I love it. Or think that anything is good or bad. You know, I actually don't really love super hot weather anymore. I find that really uncomfortable and difficult.
I do too. I don't prefer it.
But I wouldn't be like, oh, it's bad weather today. So I think that mindset is a big part of that weather stuff. Obviously there's the vitamin D thing. And
I mean there's scientific facts about weather, obviously.
Totally, like, and the amount of light that's in the day and all of that stuff. Like, listen, we're not poo-pooing the science about all of that stuff. It's just the mindset of like, oh, it's raining, so it's a shit day, so I'm not going to do X, Y, and Z. But
it's just loosen up on judgment is the bottom line in every area of life. Loosen the fuck up on judgment.
Don't judge the weather.
Don't
really
judge
wrong.
The rain. I'm glad you said that because that's hilarious. You and I, we're like, are we one soul split into two bodies?
Well, if we are, then how does it make sense that I killed you in Mexico, bitch? What's your story? Get it straight.
This is your penance. You're stuck with me now.
So our souls mingled when I murdered you in Mexico by strangulation.
And I was clawing your face, so our blood was mingling, and we just made a pact with. Oh my God, what are we talking about? Listen, poor nutrition is another reason why you can get depressed in January. Think about it. For a month, I know I did for the entire month of December, just decided I was going to be a pig and eat everything I wanted, drink everything I wanted. It was so great. But then you're like, I should get back to reality, quote unquote, and like take care of myself now. Why? I want to eat a chocolate today. I'm going to do it. Why?
Yeah, definitely. I think just like you can just taper it off, you know, it's like you don't need to all of a sudden. They do this thing in England called veganuary, which is going vegan for January.
Right.
How many fucking people do you think after doing veganuary just go and like eat fucking red meat every single day?
Exactly.
For like 10 days.
Well, that's why they say dieting doesn't work, is because to deprive yourself, to go cold turkey off of alcohol, off of sugar, it doesn't work. You set yourself, because then you're going to fail, and then you're going to punish yourself, and you're going to feel shitty about yourself, and you're going to feel depressed. It makes sense. So don't, it's not black and white. You can taper off and still take care of yourself.
I think that is the key. I always get the panic at the beginning of January when all the trousers are feeling a bit tight, you know, even when you've said to yourself, I'm going to have a great time in December. I'm going to eat.
The skin's looking a little bad. There's a little breakouts.
Yeah, exactly. All of that. I've got all that on my face right now because you're like, oh, I've eaten a Twix bar every day for 30 days.
Yeah.
But it's like, just eat 3 Twix bars a week instead of, 7.
Instead of 10.
It also is like taper off. And I think that's why people get depressed in January as well, because they start saying like, oh, I should stop spending and I should go vegan and I should stop drinking. And then they do. And then they feel depressed because they like haven't done it or they failed at doing it.
Yeah.
It's okay if you didn't stick to your New Year's resolution. Yeah. As long as you wake up again tomorrow and give it a go, if that's what you want to do, that's good enough.
Every day's a new day. Exactly. And it says that's what's next on this list of why we feel depressed is weekly held resolutions. We often decide that from January 1, we're going to be an entirely different person. So many resolutions are either totally abandoned or loosely stuck to, leaving us feeling down about our strength of willpower. Yeah, you're setting yourself up for failure. Exactly. Yeah. Financial issues have people feeling depressed. You spent all this money feeling so generous in the last month, and now the bills are coming in and you've got to play catch up. I totally understand that.
And you've spent all your money on Twixes.
That's right. I don't think you need to say the is part on the end if it's plural Twix. I think it's just Twix.
Okay.
Twix
Tell me.
So look, get outside in the sunlight if you can, if there is any. Is there any sunlight there in England today?
Yeah, it's been so beautiful the last couple of days.
Lovely.
It's been frigid, but like stunned.
It was freezing. Return to healthier eating patterns. And again, it doesn't mean you need to cold turkey anything. Just maybe, have a salad for lunch or something before you have your Twix at night. They're also saying, try something new. Try something new. And also,
try something new, guys.
Yeah, there was another article where they said, and I liked this, stop doing one thing that you don't enjoy. I like that.
Oh my God, that's great.
I know.
Oh, fuck. What would yours be?
This podcast.
You fucking bitch. Mine's going to be brushing my teeth. I'm bored of it. I'm tired of it. I'm sick of doing it twice a day. I don't want to do it.
Cool.
Anymore.
Cold turkey, no more brushing.
This January, I am not brushing my teeth. I'm sick of fluoride and I am not brushing my teeth.
Imagine. One thing that I am going to stop doing because I don't enjoy it is answering the phone.
Well, I've been doing that for over a year now. So that's one thing I'm going to try and start doing.
Yeah, you're in a little different boat there. You're trying to return to life, not back away from it.
Okay, so you're going to stop answering the phone. Lucy, I don't think I can condone that one.
All right, fine. I'm going to stop leaving my house late so that I'm freaking out in traffic.
Yes. So good.
I hate doing that. And I already did something good with my scheduling where I usually schedule myself like a half hour between meetings. And that's just recipe for failure because I will always be late. So
yeah, where are you getting in LA in half an hour?
I know.
Meetings?
It's so stupid. It's like, doesn't even make sense. So with my new schedule, I've allowed myself an hour in between any meeting. That's my rule, 1 hour, so that I have time to rest, chill out. So that's something I'm going to stop doing because I don't enjoy it being late and rushing. And
I love that.
That adrenaline rush that you feel when you're late, you're always on edge. It's actually terrible for your health and you're going to make yourself sick. And I don't want to die early because I'm always sitting in traffic and late. So you know what? I'm reclaiming my life.
The irony of dying early from being late would be so fantastic, Though so I have to say,
yeah,
if you were considering maybe continuing to be late, I like that one. Okay,
what's one thing? I need to get a better one. Yeah, what's your serious one?
Okay, so this is coming to you now, and it's from my experience of the last few weeks. Is that however hard it is for me to say that I don't want to do something, or that I do want to do something that isn't necessarily what other people want me to do or what's expected of me, I'm no longer gonna subscribe to that. So if I'm uncomfortable and something's not working for me, I'm not going to be a bitch about it, but I'm going to say, hey, this isn't jiving with me in the way that
I love
in the way that I thought it would. It's not because of you. It's everything is great that you're doing, or everything is great about the situation, or maybe it's not. But for me, like in the situation I'm talking about, nobody has done anything wrong. I just need something different than what I thought I did.
Mm-hmm.
And it was so hard, and I was so nervous. Whatever. I'm referring to coming to the cottage and leaving my family's house.
Right.
It wasn't working for me being at my family's house. I was meant to be staying there.
Right.
And I felt so scared and so nervous about talking about it because I didn't want to upset anyone and I didn't want to offend anyone. I didn't want to hurt anyone's feelings. And nobody was doing anything wrong.
Mm-mm.
There was no incident that happened. There was no anything. But it was so hard for me to say, hey guys, I want to go back to the cottage. I'm finding it hard to relax. And this just isn't working for me, but because of me, not because of anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
The relief I felt when I did that, I feel like I kind of like broke the habit of a lifetime a little bit.
Congratulations. That's huge because
And it felt good.
It's you doing it in one instance just is going to bring in so much growth.
Set the tone.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think the thing that I said, which I really stood by at the time and hoped was true, but you never really know. I'm not predicting the future. As I said, I think if I go and stay at the cottage, it's actually really going to help me be the best version of myself. And I think that's going to benefit me and also benefit everyone around me because I'm actually going to be like a much nicer, happier person, more well-rounded, healthier.
Yeah.
And I think the action of all of it made me the best version of me because I had to be the best version of me to navigate the situation.
Mm-hmm.
And I think people really responded to that positively. And I thought that was an interesting little lesson. Taking responsibility as well, it was a big part of it. Not being like, you've done this and I don't like this and this and this and this and this and this. It was like very much I don't want to say problem because it wasn't a problem, but but that's kind of what I want to be a little bit practicing this year, I think.
That's really
I guess
big.
that's self-awareness as well. It's sort of having the ability to speak up for yourself and advocate for yourself in a situation like that, but it's also about being a bit tuned into self-awareness of like, okay, like you with your scheduling.
Yeah,
this isn't working for me.
What you just shared, I wrote about in my journal this morning, and a new boundary that I'm going to practice is saying no much quicker. When I know that something isn't right for me, say no much quicker, because as it's been this last year, I will say no to things, but the amount of time it takes me to stress over it and torture myself over, am I making the right call? Why? It's such a waste. And then with the things that I do want to say yes to, I'm going to try to make it my rule that I say, let me think about this overnight and I'll give you my answer tomorrow. We're so quick to not say no when we know we want to, and then say yes so quickly without really paying attention, self-awareness to how it's making us feel.
And thinking maybe, okay, I want to say yes, but here are some things I need to be aware of for myself and other people before going into the situation, I think is what giving yourself that little bit of time gives you. Do you find that you will sometimes... Actually, I think I already know the answer to this question, but anyway, I think we talked about it. When you be like, oh, I'll do this and I'll do this and I'll do this. Like, I'm not going to do this, but I'll do these 3 other things instead to make up for this one thing that I won't do. And it's like, I haven't thought any of this through. First of all, I don't need to do the 3 other things. Second of all, I actually don't know that I can, and I don't want to.
Yeah.
So why have I just said, I'll
like, who are you bargaining with?
For what? Why? Just say no, bitch.
Say no.
Thanks, but no.
Or I'll know that I can't, but I'll be like, oh, I don't think I can, but let me give you an answer in a little while. Like, I just need to check
I'm really
on
trying
something.
to stop doing that. Going, no, I don't think I can. Like, no, I know I can't. So I can't do that, but thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, I love that. That's very inspiring what you said.
Yeah, you too. And just one other thing on here that I like is that they say something to do to feel better is not clean your house, but it says clean out one area of your house.
Love it.
I like that because that's doable.
Yeah, that's what I had to do this week when I was clearing out my mom's house. Well, as soon as I started looking around, I was like, Whoa. I can't take this. I need an ambulance.
Overwhelming.
If I just literally looked at one surface, I could do it.
Yeah, like
And it
you
made me
can
feel really
handle
good.
cleaning out your sock drawer or the silverware drawer. And that's it. That's all you do today. And tomorrow it might be the pots and pans. But one thing instead of, all right, 2022, I'm going to redo the whole house. And then you don't. You feel bad about yourself. Let's get rid of that. Let's bring it back, reel it back in to the doable things.
And then when you look at that sock drawer or that one area that you did, it's going to make you feel so happy that it's going to make you want to do another area.
Exactly.
Love it.
Well, we're back officially.
And while we're speaking about scheduling and boundaries, we have decided that we are going to do an episode every other week instead of every week, because that just works better for us. And we think that we'll be our best selves for you and for us if we do that.
Yeah, exactly. We're still here for you. The show is headed for exciting places, and we will be coming to you every other week with brand new episodes and surprise guests and very important factual news and everything that you've come to love about the Lucy and Annabel Show. Annabelle's incessant cussing and my geeking out over mushrooms and spiders. Everything.
Licking of walls.
So we want to hear from you. We didn't do listener feedback this week because, you know, you've all been hibernating, and
so have we.
Yeah, we've all been hibernating, but you can call us. We've got our hotline. The number is an American number. So it's 1-805-836-2950. Call us, leave us a voicemail. You can email us at the Lucy and Annabel Show @gmail.com. And if you love this podcast, pass it on to your friends, and please rate and review us and subscribe. We're on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, everywhere you like to listen.
And if you rate us, it really helps us because it boosts the show, and then we can reach more people. And that's just going to be good for everyone.
Yeah. So thank you. We're glad to be back.
So glad to be back. I'm so glad to be back.
Me too.
I'm so excited.
Me too.
And part of that means that we're actually going to be able to keep up with uploading the videos onto the YouTube with the episodes.
We'll actually have videos on time.
60. So I think it's going to be really good. I'm glad that you suggested that, Lucy, and I think it's a great way to make.
And that was scary for me to say. That was,
God, I'm sure,
a scary thing for me to express that I needed.
Were you expecting me to not be chill about it?
No, I mean, I knew that, but I don't want to let you down because I know, and of course I want to do it like every day with you. You're my favorite person to talk with. I'm obsessed with talking with you. It's not that at all. It's just feasibly being realistic with what I can handle at this time in what I'm doing. But I just didn't want to make you sad because I know that our talks are important to us every week.
You made me happy. You didn't make me sad. You always make me happy.
You always make me happy.
Why did you wince when you said it then?
Because I'm lying.
You better watch out. I'm gonna try and kill you again through this
bitch. You never know. I might get you back in this life. Better watch out.
No, that's not the point of this life for me. I'm not going to be murdered by anyone this time.
Well, I'll be the judge of that.
Whoa, your voice sounded really weird and scary when you said that. I'm leaving.
Whoa, okay. Just send me
love you.
I love you too. Happy New Year. I was going to say, send me my fucking scarf. Listen, you guys, Annabelle has had my scarf for a month now. I bought it from her Depop page or whatever you sell your clothes on. And she said, oh yeah, I'll bring it to England for you. And then we never saw each other. And now you have the scarf in England and I'm back in America. So it's going to cost like double what I paid for it for you to ship it. So
I texted you about that scarf and your address so many fucking times.
Once.
And then you
No, I would literally pull up the receipts. I texted you like 3 fucking times about it. And then you said to me, literally like the day before Christmas Eve, can you send me this scarf? I was like, no, bitch, I cannot. And you think I'm going to go to the post office today? Are you out of your mind? No, I'll bring it back. You can have it in March and use it next year.
Great. Can't wait. Love it.
No, I'm going to send it to you.
No, please don't. It's
no, I
not
do.
important.
I have to go. No, I have to go to the post office. I'm going to send it to you. I need to see you in it.
Let me know what you spend and I will reimburse you.
I would. No fucking way. All right, honey. Have a great day.
Okay, I'm going back to bed. Love you all.
Love you.
Love you.